Hi there, friend. Today on the podcast, we're talking about don't forget the I in IF. And what that means is don't forget to be intermittent in intermittent fasting. I don't talk about fasting too often, but I do have a couple of things to share. About half of the professional women that I coach to permanent weight loss do some sort of fasting or use some sort of eating window. They're over age 50 and they all have really demanding jobs and lives. So this choice and any fasting protocol is customized to them. It isn't a one-size-fits-all type of deal when people work with me. So I coach them in ways so that they can get permanent weight loss and live in the body they want. So I've been recently enjoying the book, The Essential Guide to Intermittent Fasting for Women by Megan Ramos. And that's where I thought to share this part of fasting with you today. Megan Ramos works with Dr. Jason Fung, and I'm a huge fan of his. He talks about insulin resistance and how insulin is the hormone that causes our bodies to store fat instead of release it. And that is really important for women in perimenopause and menopause and beyond because we get a natural bump in insulin resistance. Dr. Fung is mostly working with people with prediabetes and diabetes, but we have a similar issue at this time in our life. So intermittent fasting or using an eating window can be a great tool. But sometimes we forget about the intermittent part. You don't want every day to be the same. I had a business owner client in perimenopause that would vary her days depending on her work schedule. Some days she would eat breakfast before heading into the office. And on the days she worked from home, she would wait until she felt hungry to have her first meal. If she had an early meeting, she planned to fast until lunchtime. See how every day isn't the same, but she was doing some eating windows some of the days. I had another client who had tons of reports she had to read on Mondays that would come in over the weekend. And she found that Mondays were so much better if she planned to just hit work early and not worry about eating until noon. So you don't have to follow a certain protocol for what hours you eat and what hours you fast, but you do want to vary it. If you've tried an eating window like 16 hours fasting and 8 hours eating, or 12 hours fasting and 12 hours eating, you may have noticed that you hit a plateau in your weight loss journey. It turns out that if fasting isn't intermittent, your body can go to homeostasis. Our bodies love homeostasis. Our bodies love to find the new pattern and just settle into it. Many people will find if they choose an eating window like 16-8, and the timing is always the same, they'll lose a little weight, and then all of a sudden they just stop. And they think that fasting doesn't work for them. Now that plateau is really normal because your body has adjusted to the new routine. It likes to maintain how things are because in severe situations, this kind of homeostasis will keep you alive. If you think about times when people are very near starving and are able to stay alive, it's because their body can adjust the resting metabolism rate and where energy goes, and that keeps them alive longer. So when you change to an eating window that's the same every day, your body may naturally lose a little bit and then keep you right there. If you are on a weight loss journey, all you need to do is switch things up. So how do we do this? You can change the timing of your eating window. So if you're going to do 16-8, you could eat between noon and 8 o'clock some days, and you could eat between 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. on other days. I had a nurse that did this, and it worked great for her. That could work for you. You can do the thing where you have days that you eat 16-8, and you have days where you eat 3 meals and no snacks, and that changes things up. So if you're thinking, how do I figure this out for my life? The beautiful thing is just take a look at your own life and schedule. I told you about the manager who has a lot of reports to read on Mondays, and so it's a busy day, and so that's why she chose noon to 8 on that day. So you contemplate each day depending on how it's going to work for you. So this doesn't sound like the strict rules you've heard in weight loss programs that say you have to eat a 16-8 window every day. There is actually no science on those hours that people choose for eating windows. This is actually great news because you can literally create any plan you want that fits your day. Just don't make it the same every day. I do hear about some weight loss programs where all they do is fasting and they require that you fast. What I hear from people who have done these programs is that they direct you to do a 24-hour fast. So you eat dinner one day, eat dinner the next day, 1 or 2 days a week, and then the other days you eat a 16-8 eating window. Now, I work with women in the menopause transition to customize a plan that they like and that fits their schedule. As I said before, half the people that work with me lose weight using fasting as a tool, and half do not fast. I help these professional women choose something that they like so they can do it permanently. Of course, the people I'm talking to who come from these fasting programs are telling me it was okay and I lost weight, but I didn't want to live like that for the rest of my life. And so it wasn't permanent. So for people that work with me that do choose to use fasting as a tool, we make sure that it isn't the same timing every day. So don't forget the I in IF. Don't forget the intermittent in intermittent fasting. I think I just can't say intermittent too many times in one sentence. Experiment and find what feels good for you. What works for your workday so that you will still have great focus and you can enjoy your time. Experiment with what works for your family life and when you need to be present with your people. You can figure this out. If you would like a guide, please come find me at my website, heatherawadmd.com. I would love to talk to you about this. If you have a friend who's been discouraged about their fasting, please share this podcast with them. And feel free to take a screenshot of the podcast and post it somewhere on social media. Please subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of the episodes, or subscribe on YouTube if you're watching here, and give it a 5-star rating so I can reach more people with my message of healthy weight loss, where people are nourished and weight loss is simple. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I enjoy talking about these healthy weight loss journeys with you. Take care. Bye-bye.